go. Stop.
And action.
I don't like this anymore.
Oh Lord, it's another fantastic Godsfall day. I'm Device. I will be running the game for you, and these wonderful gentlemen here will be playing the
And
players.
what happened to the last guy who was running?
A brand new car. Shagger, why don't you start us off by introducing yourself and your character? Go right
uh,
ahead.
I am the young, whimsical Shagger, and I'm going to be playing Dandil the Duskdip. He's a halfling, a little prepubescent fighter who is also the god of beasts. He talks to animals and shit.
Why
Yeah.
don't you introduce us to your little buddy there?
Oh, that little fugly thing right there is your mom. No, just kidding. It's my pet, Everett, the little baby owl. He has yet to mature. God, that
Close.
thing is ugly looking.
Good enough. Good enough. Okay, so that brings us over to let's go with one Ginsu. Why don't you bring us up next?
I am Ginsu, and I am playing Tanizan Talizar. He is a noble's son, a merchant noble's son from Ani, and he went out sailing with his uncle, met these very weird but lovable characters, and now he's on a whirlwind adventure.
Shut up, Meg.
Perfect timing. Comedic gold. Just saying.
Oh Lord. Okay. Is
Oh,
he anything
Also,
special?
sorry, also, I forgot to add this, and I meant to add it at the end. I am also one, the god of vitality. Although I don't really have any outward magical abilities, all of my shit is passive.
Fair enough. Okay, that brings us to Julian, Bashir, one Victoria. Why don't you give it to us, son?
You're roboting out, sir.
We all know what it is. Let's see if that's better.
That is better.
Okay.
Oh
Like-
God! Please don't let this keep going forever. What is this? A radio call-in
Like a
show?
frat
Well,
boy. Basically.
Also,
a little dandy
we're
boy.
yeah.
Little
Looks like somebody made a sinker.
boy. But I'm also the god of death.
All I heard was death.
You know what? Let's just call that
Let's
good.
just move on.
I think that's close enough.
You were
Also,
right, sir. You were killing it.
also Snosh, you are. We're all in roll 20.
I'll
have
be
maps
right
now.
there.
And so why don't we move on to Riku? Riku, go ahead. Oh hell yeah. Okay, since you're here,
10 out of 10 right there.
Ritz, why don't we go with you next?
Okay, so yeah. Well, just playing, just playing. I am playing Zillowin Fin. I am a son of a fisherman. I've spent my life next to Sapphire Bay. I'm 6'2" human male. Svelte swimmer body, unkept blonde hair. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week. Tip your waitresses. Startling silver eye, supermodel good looks, and the newly awakened god of the sea.
Beautiful. Well done. Well done.
Thank you. I actually have service.
The fan service or?
Okay, and so we're gonna move on to let's see. We'll move on to Snosh. Snosh, why don't you give it to us, bud?
Give it
Yeah.
to me.
Online of my name is Snosh, but in Godsfall I'm Professor D. Shvantz. So there I was, stooping my colleague's wife, the man who had just given me 50,000 gold to create a new technology, when all of a sudden, poof, zapped out of existence, dropped out of the sky, fall into the water, and then I wake up on a boat full of these schmucks. The rest is Godsfall history. God of knowledge. Thank you very much.
Well done. Well done indeed. All right, Riku, are you here yet? Hell yeah. Well, Riku is playing one Mandee Mistvixen, halfling rogue, and god of travel. Very well done, Riku. Okay. So, when last we left off, you had all just entered the very small town of Wild Elves just off the road of the main road through the Ironwood. You were escorted by Automil, Stebu, and their female elf companion, who did not give you a name. They told you that you are being escorted by one Madame Tinueth, as seen over here in the upper left-hand corner of your group. She is a madam of a brothel, running a very heavily traded in flesh service and inn and bar. You convinced her to come out with you adventuring, saying that her knowledge of magic could come in handy in the future. You were escorted up into the trees by Aramil, all the while being watched at a distance by Cebu, the surly, unfortunate elf that has decided he does not like that you're in his forest. He does not want you in his forest. And seems to be waiting for you guys to mess up. You are brought into the trees using a system of pulleys and levers and elevators that bring you high up into the canopy, where there exists a small town. As you see here on the map, this is just a small portion of the town. They tell you that their elder, a woman named Hagant, would like to see you. You find yourselves just outside of the hut that she has atop one of the grand ironwood trees. Within the hut, you smell sweet smells, herbs and incenses, natural smells of grasses and plants, and there's quite a lively amount of life up here, as a matter of fact. Forest, small tree-bound forest creatures, squirrels and chipmunks and birds and all the like, running around free, seemingly unafraid for themselves. Artemil opens the flap to this hut and he says, "My friends, I will wait outside for you here. It is not my place to go in with you, but I believe our elder Hagent will deliver some news to you, or at least she may be able to help you along your path. Good luck."
Well, all right. Looks like we're going inside there.
Yeah, I think we
This
should head inside.
this section right here is the opening, the door. There's another one on the other side as well.
I'm just mildly disappointed there's no Lorax around here.
What do they call their elfin city?
They didn't give it a name, so
Hmm.
far as you are aware.
I think I would remember.
You took it as still head and shoulders. Or is this just like from my perspective? This is what I'm seeing.
No, it's head and shoulders. He gave me no head.
I can't.
Even though I have a perfectly usable Hero Forge mini picture on the freaking
Deprive
Discord.
a man of no head.
The professor's like seemingly pacing back and forth on the railing, but can't get around Zillowin and is too afraid to go close to the edge.
If you look over at the map that Ginsu had uploaded into the Godsfall channel, you'll see River Run there. Just south of River Run, you guys kind of split off and entered into the trees. And instead of taking you down that path that leads the way to Turtle Bay that you actually took up to River Run, you guys went through the Ironwood and directly to where this star is just south of River Run here. And that's where you are currently.
And where do we park the horses?
They are down on the forest floor.
Did we? Were we?
We were escorted up an elevator into the tallest tree, or
And
into one of the tall
we
trees.
saw we weren't blindfolded or anything. Like we came in.
No, you guys were asleep, or well, several of you were asleep for quite a bit of the journey to the Elven town, but not all of you. And it was dark, so only those of you with the ability to see in the dark would have really been able to tell where you were going. But yeah, it's not, they weren't necessarily hiding where you were going.
That's good. And did the elves are they horseback riders as well? They maybe don't need them in the Ironwood, I imagine.
It doesn't
tree
seem
rider.
so. It doesn't seem so. It seems for the most part that they kind of just go by foot.
I see.
Sorry, guys, I'm back.
Yeah, we're sorry too.
Got him.
You did have a great intro, though. I'm going to give you that.
Nice.
I'll update the picture later, Shake.
Okay, that's good.
When whoever decides that they will be entering this hut, Madame Tinueth will also go inside here.
I'm gonna just like find a pillow cushion or whatever. Just sit there with the owl.
Yeah, when you enter inside, you see that there is a very old elven woman sitting near the center of the tree. She is hunched over. She is wearing clothes that seem well made, but not particularly fine. She has white hair and kind of bony features. And she just sits kind of in the middle near a fire, keeping herself warm, seemingly.
Would I have seen her
And
before?
doubtful.
Okay.
Doubtful. You probably traded with more of the younger folks and the like forest guardians like Cebu and Armil. But
Okay.
this woman seems like she is at least in some way close to in charge. They denote her as an elder of the village, and yeah, so she sits, and when you approach, she says, "Hello, adventurers. I am Hagant, elder of this village and of this forest.
Hey,
Welcome."
Granny, how you doing?
As I come up, I will give her a curt bow, and I will introduce myself.
Okay.
Mandee juts in front of him and like does a curt bow like in front of his knees too.
No, me first. Fuck off.
There's no need for pomp and circumstance here. This is a place to relax. Please, sit with me by the fire. I believe there's much that we have to speak about.
She talks very slowly.
She's older than fuck, dude.
And
She's
Like-
probably coming up on.
you didn't
She's
know.
probably coming up on like 900 and something years old.
So the deal with elves is when you start noticing that they're aging, they're already old as fuck. When you see an elf that's old, where you're like, fuck, you look old, they're like
Ancient.
dummy old.
They
They're like
dumb me old.
stupidly old. And this lady's like barely functional old. Like
Oh,
she's
so
like
she's close to 1,000.
she's like up there, dog. And
How old was Madame Tenuith?
Madame Tenuith is 3 to 4 or 500 years old. You're not sure. And she looks banging. And this bitch is older than dirt. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Excellent description there. Oh, dude, she's old like.
She
fuck,
was here before dirt.
You said she was how old?
Like
Uh,
fuck old.
like it's hard.
999
It's
days
hard
of
to.
being 4 years.
It's
Okay,
really
I'm
hard to
asking 'cause
say.
last time you said she was 600, so I was just checking.
It's really hard to say with elves, but she could be 600. 600 could just be like in the Bible they say 40 days and they mean a fucking bunch. You don't know. She could just be so old that they don't remember how fucking old she is, and also she doesn't remember how old she is. Like, she's just older than shit. And this like incredibly wizened looking woman invites you all to sit with her. There are cushions, there are tree stumps, there are plenty of little chairs and things, places for you to sit. And there's a nice little fire with some herbs in it. The herbs are kicking up like blue smoke, it's filling the air with nice smells. And she tosses another handful of moss and several other herbs in a pouch into the thing, and a fresh plume of smoke goes up. When it does, she seems to regain a bit of her composure. She straightens her back a bit. She says again, "My name is Hagant. I am the eldest of the elves of this forest. Now, there's a reason that the defenders of my forest brought you here. So please, tell me about yourself."
Mandy's gonna pull up a cushion right next to her and try to offer a piece of candy before anybody starts talking.
I'm gonna take
the
a
professor,
seat.
Like, the professor tried to speak, but then was interrupted by Mandee.
She'll take the piece of
the,
candy. She's old, you know. She doesn't give a fuck. What's it gonna do? Kill her? I mean, anything can kill her.
All right, roll a con save real quickly, just in case.
I'm gonna pull up a cushion and sit next to the fire, but close enough to where I could reach over and snatch Mandee if I needed to.
Yeah.
And then Mandy
Go-
goes into a really hyper rant about what's been happening.
Okay, so you just spill all the beans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the ship in the forest, and then we were almost attacked.
And
That's
as she's going into
Not
this
the-
hyperactive rant, Tanis is just sitting there with his arms crossed, just nodding along, going, "I knew this was gonna happen."
I knew it.
So as you're going through the whole thing and you're getting like hyper and you hand her the candy and she takes it and she pops the candy into like to her mouth. She holds it in like her left cheek, and she'll like because you're very tiny and cute, right? And you have a lot of energy. You're basically the exact opposite of this woman. And
She's kind of like
and
nodding her head, like, "Oh yes, sweetheart, yeah, lovely story, of course."
so yeah,
Oh.
so like she'll even like hold your hand like a little granddaughter
See,
kind of
in
thing.
all honesty, it should have been Mandee who is the god of speed because goddamn.
Right. She goes, "Oh, I see. Well, that's quite an adventure that you've all had."
Did Mandee disclose our godhoods during the rant?
Absolutely.
Uh,
Well, she would have
okay.
tried anyway.
Oh, of course you did.
Well,
Every time she was about to say that, the professor like does like the Nathan Fillion meme of like, and then just keeps his mouth shut.
Damn it.
and the woman, you can't. After a while, you're not 100% sure if she's just like really ascetic and chill, or if she's crazy. Like she could just be completely dementiaed out, because you'll describe some like terrible shit that happened, like the zombies, and she goes, "Oh yes, yes." And like you're not sure if she's sane or not, like if she's okay. And then she says, "I remember you. I remember you all. Some of you when you were young. Like you." And she points at Tanizan. "I remember when you were young to this world."
Excuse me? Ma'am, I don't think I've ever met you before.
Tanizan, don't be
Oh,
rude.
perhaps not in this form, no.
You can take on
But
other forms?
Are you
there
wait?
was,
Hold on, Tanizan. Are you suggesting that you knew the gods before us?
I
well,
think she was old enough to be around.
before the fall, they were prevalent in our lives. I was once young and virile as well. Yes,
Oh, come on!
I
You're still at least
knew.
one of those things.
I knew the god of vitality once, like I've met all of you. Though you the least. And she pats Mandee on the head. And she says, "For I have not ventured far from this forest in my many years. I have traveled its bounds, but not much further. So we are not close friends. But I hope to know you better this time."
Oh, we can be friends. I'd like that for sure.
Okay, so
Oh,
you
good.
knew my predecessor.
Of them, of course. I've met many of you many
Okay.
times.
That makes sense then.
And you, and she points at Dandil. Oh, we're very familiar with the god of beasts. Yes,
Wow.
many beasts live in this forest.
I saw you have like
Many.
squirrels and stuff. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, yes. There are friends, you see.
Can you also
Of
talk to squirrels?
course. Everyone can talk to animals, but
Wow.
few can hear their words back.
I want to talk to animals.
Dandel is just like confused. That's why, like, what the? What? Like
Mandee turns and says hi to the owl.
you can talk, but you can't hear. What?
And unfortunately, young Mr. Elf, and she points over at Julian, it seems I am closest to you of all the gods now.
Because she's super old.
Oh,
Because she's old
god
as
damn.
fuck.
It's because she's old, yes. Ah, you were here 100 years ago. I remember you.
I'm closest to you now because
You were
I'm
looking a little
about
bit
to
more delicious looking
die.
back 100 years ago.
Tanizan, don't be rude.
I didn't actually say
We're,
that.
we're
That was the
guests.
player. That
I
was the
slapped
player.
Tanizan.
That was the player, not the person.
I slapped Tanizan for no reason.
For no reason
What
whatsoever.
what the hell was that for?
Mandee starts giggling.
I
madly.
know what you were thinking.
What was I thinking? What are you, a mind reader now?
I whisper into his ear.
Just
That's
fucking.
it. I just whisper into his ear. He can't hear. He can't hear me though.
Not even words.
I'm
Just
sorry. I'm being very very silly.
Be
Don't
silly.
mind me.
Be silly. It's
Nah.
fine.
Do something. I don't even remember anymore.
This is the
What?
way of the tent. Yes. Often I am distracted by the scent of the herbs as well. Everybody make me a constitution check, by the way.
Just to see if herb or not herb.
Basically, yeah.
Gotcha.
I rolled a nat 1.
I'm dirty 20. Yeah, you herbed out, my guy.
7.
19.
18.
Okay. Oh no. Okay. Everybody that is under 15, except for Zillowin, who's seemingly is standing outside of the flap still.
No, I'm
Um,
standing. I'm standing in the door, but I'm staying near the door, and I'm just
Okay,
kind of
fair.
sheltered in the darkness. But I did roll a nat 20, so 22.
Okay. Everybody under 15. Um, you don't feel cloudy or silly or any of that shit, but you do feel a little numb. Not in a bad way either. Like a nice, like, little body high. Like a little, like, any aches and pains that you had, you forgot that they were there. Your feet don't hurt anymore. Your ass doesn't hurt from riding in those horses and that stupid cart that whole night. Like all of those little bits are gone. And some of you're thinking clear enough, but just on the edge of that, there's a touch of fog. And as far as you know, this lady just be living in this tent. So this lady's higher than tits
She's
right
as
now.
high as a fucking kite.
Yeah, so there's a good chance she's just not even like, it's not even that she's old that she's being weird. It's just that she's fucking balls high.
She's perfectly
Jesus.
normal age. She's just like super high, which makes her crinkly.
Now, if you are all the gods reborn, well, not all of them, but some of them, that means either more have already been awakened or will be awakened in due time.
Oh, hold on. I have a question real quick. Riku, did Mandee accidentally slip up and tell us what Lady or what Madame Tenuith's godhood is?
Probably,
No,
yeah.
she doesn't have one.
Yeah,
Oh.
what?
You're thinking of a different character.
You're thinking of the other female elf, Rihanna.
Oh, okay, never mind.
No, I wouldn't have mentioned that. No.
Okay.
Wait, who is that? I'm sorry.
The female
The
Red,
female elf
red
that was
hair
guarding
elven woman.
our caravan through the forest.
She was
Who
with
does-
Cebu and Aramil.
I thought Cebu was the only one who had revealed himself as a deity. Not
Well-
Cebu.
Cebu,
Automil, sorry.
Aramil, yeah.
Well, one of them, the woman turned out to be the goddess of luck, but I'm the only one who knows that.
Oh, that's right. My bad. Okay, yep. Thank you for the reminder.
Agumon.
Go on.
Agumon,
Go
Digivolve too.
So, many gods have either been reborn or will be reborn soon. Now, if my boys brought you back here, then that means they see something in you. Something that I saw in them before.
So are you
She-
supposed to
And-
see at us or look at us, or how's this gonna go?
I see you already.
Wow.
I am looking at you now.
I'm just gonna hide a little bit behind Everett. the, the pruning gaze of an old woman scares Dandil.
You guys now know Dandil's weakness. The elderly.
Pruny old women.
Oh no.
Hey, that's supposed to be my weakness.
Yeah, but it's your weakness in a different way.
Okay. It's,
Okay.
Awful. Awful.
Oh, all right.
Alright.
Okay.
So, I must ask you where you stand
I'm
with
standing right here.
regards to the world of mortals.
Mandee, no. That's not what she's talking about.
no, but Mandee is right there. Until she isn't. Then she's somewhere else, and you'll never see her move.
Actually, Mandy's probably not standing at all. She's probably like slumped over on her pillow, just eating candy.
She's probably
Yeah,
not
she's
good.
fucking.
High as a fucking kite.
Yeah, she rolled a 7. She's just fucking shoving candy into her face.
I'm right here.
Well,
I have a question.
very well. What is your question, young man?
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, you stated that many of the gods have been reborn, and many have yet to be reborn. I need to know, and as he's getting ready to ask this question, you guys see the professor clutching something that's hidden behind his vest, around where his heart would be, middle of his chest, more or less. But he's clutching something underneath it. And device, do you remember what that would be?
I believe I do.
Okay. I'd like to know if Zavan has been reborn. If you know.
I do not.
Who's Dear John?
And can I
Mandee.
He's the one that wrote me the goodbye letter.
I'm
pretty
gonna
sure
reach
he's
over-
Wordlet certified.
That's
I'm gonna
that's
reach
a 2
over
on
and
the insight check.
Pet
on
Mandy's
that.
head and tell her to go back to sleep.
I rolled
No,
a 2 on my insight check.
no, she didn't. She didn't actually say that. But she says no. I don't know if he has.
Well, thank you for your candor.
I only know of whichever gods you all may be, as well as 3 others.
Wow, there's more.
And who are those 3
Yes.
others?
The god of speed,
We've met him.
the god of luck,
I don't know who that is.
and the god of life. When she says the last one, she sounds significantly less happy than you might assume.
Hold on, wouldn't the god of life and vitality be the same? This is Tanizan asking, by the way.
No, Tanizan, it's not. And the professor pulls Tanizan aside and opens his booklet and starts pointing to charts and archaic writing and starts explaining the history of the gods quietly and privately to Tanizan. Every time Tanizan looks away, he like, hey, right here. Goes on really boring, overly detailed, keeps explaining.
Yeah,
And
as
so
he
you see Tanizan, and so you see the difference.
yeah, as he goes to pull me away and I start to yawn from the boredom, I'll just walk back over to my seat and sit down.
You are not allowed.
Who's gonna stop me?
Apparently, the professor. You just keep calling you back.
I'm sorry. What was that, Dandil?
Sorry, what?
I thought I saw my name. I thought I heard a voice. Did you say something?
No, Professor.
Did I mistake someone else's words for yours? I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure the vapors in the room are kind of affecting everyone here.
They're not
Vapors.
What vapors?
Are you getting the vapors?
Wait.
No, but
I'll
when you say that, she says, "This is for me."
yeah, but
I'll look
everyone's
around and
bringing
see
it,
how
so
smoky it is and be like,
Oh,
oh, everybody's fucking
allow
high.
allow me.
allow me.
And she just grabs like a big blanket and she kind of smothers the fire and she pulls a rope above her head and some like blankets or thick curtains roll up and a lot of smoke kind of billows out. Your head's clear a little bit. Those of you that were affected, your bodies are still like a nice tingly, but the headiness of the smoke is gone after a few minutes pass. And she says, "Yes, those are the only ones that I know of.
So, can you...
Zavan, as far as I know, is still embodied in artifacts worn by the king of Ani."
Sorry, baby.
Uh-oh. I don't think he's wearing those artifacts anymore.
We don't need to spread that around. I've already told you we don't need to incite a war.
This isn't gonna incite a
Well,
war with the...
again, Mandee had
Yeah,
already
Mandee
told
would've-
her the
Mandee
story,
would've
so
told
she
her. Yeah.
knows.
Yeah, Mandee went through everything, including the death of the king, God King.
So she says, Zavan's spirit is embodied by the artifacts that worn by the God King of Ani.
So we definitely need to get those artifacts back.
And it just so happens I have some details on their whereabouts.
Yes. So let's go
But
Dragon Ball hunting.
so far as other gods are concerned, I do not know the whereabouts of those aside from you here, the god of speed and the god of luck. The god of life, unfortunately, is gone.
What can you tell us?
Where
of
did
this?
they go?
If I knew, I would tell you.
Did you encounter this deity?
3 gods were born in this forest: speed, luck, and life.
Is it a safe assumption then that this god of life is one of your kin?
It is likely. At least they started out as a wild elf. But the god of life and life in general is wild, ever shifting, always changing. So, you should always be aware, be wary, for they are out there.
Can we get
They-
this
They
person's...
did not leave here on good terms.
Can we get this person's name and a description so that we can be on the lookout for them?
I can give you their description. But it would be easier to show you.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
Show me the money.
Show
And
me
she's-
the money. Show me the
She
money.
slowly lifts her hand up. And when she does, the tip of her finger has a bit of charcoal, like dust, like ash dust from the fire. She reaches out and she swipes down the left side of Julian's face. And a thick line goes down the left side of Julian's face.
I think she infected Julian with the old.
Almost like a scar. And she says, "There is your god of life."
So, the god of life is our doppelganger that attacked in Ani. That try to frame you, Julian?
I cannot explain why your friend looks such like him.
Well, they are the gods of life and death. They are stark opposites.
Dungeon Master,
Perhaps.
I'd like to roll insight on this old woman.
So
Okay.
it would make
Go for
sense that they kind of look alike.
Natural
They're like
20. She's been
twins.
spouting complete bullshit this whole time.
No, only got an 8. Never mind.
As far as you can tell, she's being genuine.
Julian,
A little loopy, but genuine.
Julian, tell us again what you experienced. You said you had an encounter with a doppelganger.
Okay, I just explained my player 0 session.
Can you?
So
can you
basically,
go into that a
essentially,
little?
if you want to do that, that is perfectly fine. Otherwise, I can breeze through it.
You go ahead, device.
So then Julian explains that while he was taking his doctoral, basically his final exam to get his MD, for lack of a better term in this world, as he was doing so, he saved a man's life. He saved his leg, but not one of his eyes.
Yeah, he saved my father.
And that man turned out to be Ginsu's character's father. In that act, however, there was a commotion outside. And in this commotion, Julian and his father exited into the hall, and there was a retinue of royal guard there to arrest Julian for murder. When they came to arrest him, they showed them a picture of Julian as described by somebody who was a victim, not obviously not of murder, but of assault, and somebody who was there when someone else was murdered. And the attacker, the assailant, looked almost identical to Julian. The sides of their head were shaved, and they had a long scar running down the left side of their face, but otherwise nearly identical to Julian. He then met this person as he was running away from the guard, and the person attacked him. They nearly spilled his guts onto the floor. Julian currently has a particularly brutal looking scar on his stomach from that assault.
Ooh.
And when escaping, that's how he managed to find his way onto Dovos' ship and eventually met you all. And that is as much as Julian knows, and that is as much as any of you know.
Davos is my uncle.
Davos is my uncle.
You two don't look alike.
Uh,
Oh, the two of you siblings.
I think I think Davos is more like Mandy's dad than uncle.
Well, if you recall,
So
most of
you're
the ship
cousins.
called him Uncle Davos, but yeah. Um, she tells you that
Hold on, but yes, Professor, we are in a sense cousins.
So
all
isn't that
right.
just fucking adorable?
That's kind of
she
weird.
she tells you that this person was her grandson, and her grandson's name was Hogner. And
Hoggy.
Hogner, and when he was born, he was born in something of a chrysalis. And Hogner very rarely stayed. He very rapidly changed, she describes to you all. As he grew up and he would look like many of the friends around him. So he would look like Artemil, or he would look like Cebu, or he would look like any of the other children around that were of a similar age. And when he finally reached maturity, or at least mature enough for an elf, that he was more or less settled into what he would eventually become, he looked, and she nodded towards Julian, and you see there's something of a bit of longing almost in her eyes as she looks at Julian, and she says she looked like this. He looked like this. And eventually, he left. I don't know why, but he did. And I haven't known where he has been for some time. So Hogner has been gone, but I would be wary if I were you. If what you say is true, and for whatever reason, be it that you look like him or that you are his shadow, his reverse, he is after you. So, again, be wary.
I'm sorry, did you
This
say his name was Hogner?
Hogner, yeah.
Hoggle.
Not
Oh,
Hogner.
pissing into a fucking fountain. But yes, that was my grandchild. He is, as far as we know, the god of life. So, I do not know of any other gods, but the three that I mentioned, and you all. But I can tell you this. If the gods are being reborn, it is for a reason. Something is happening. And I can feel it. I can feel it through the trees. The trees have begun to speak to me again.
In Vietnamese.
Oh, shit.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck, watch where you step, son.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
Fucking punching
God
sticks, bro.
Damn, dude.
What did I miss? What's the big deal?
He said the trees were
Oh, I heard
speaking
what he
in
said, but
Vietnamese.
what
Yeah.
the so the fuck what? What does that mean?
Yeah, I
It's
don't get it either.
Vietnam War, you know,
So many
gorillas.
jokes where if the trees talked, we burn them down.
But anyway, yeah, she tells you the trees very recently, in fact, in the last few hours, have begun to speak and sing to her again. And she believes that it is because of you.
Who, me?
Because there were
All of us.
There were two gods here before. But she can feel divinity from all of you.
Who's that?
All of us, she said.
Except,
Aren't you listening, Tanizan?
and she
who,
kind of
who can feel this again? I missed that.
Hagen,
Okay.
the old lady. And she says most of you. And she only gestures to Madame Tenuith. She says, I do feel a wellspring inside of you. But, like me,
Just ready to burst.
it's you're gonna come with me to another tree, bitch.
Like, listen, you guys want to take this to another chat or something? Like, what's that?
I've prepared a place for you all to sleep. Not you, woman. You'll stay here. I'm old, but I've got needs.
God, oh, gross.
Hey, don't judge.
Okay.
Then, Professor, you can stay here with her.
Maybe I will.
The reason women's dresses don't have pockets is because we come equipped with one already. Oh,
Oh my
But
God.
yes, she says that she feels divinity coming from all of you in the room. And Madame Tenuith, she explains she feels basically the opposite, which is what she herself has, which is that you are all exuding magic. You are all pumping magic out constantly. And spellcasters absorb that. She was once a spellcaster herself. And it seems that Mistress Tenuith as well was once a spellcaster. You are batteries, but you are generators. They're batteries. They're charging up, being near you. Anything that was magical will charge near you. Because you are literally just spitting magic out into the world. Just by being alive. So, she tells you, this is slow now because you're young, and at least as far as the future holds, you are currently very weak compared to what you will be eventually. So, as time goes, you will have to learn to focus and refine your magic and your divine abilities.
Question
You
real
will have
quick.
to make choices that will affect the entire rest of Calgun, which is the world.
Question real quick.
Mhm.
As the god of vitality, do I even have any actual magic abilities that aren't passive? Because I know I can take a hit harder than anybody else.
It's not there or your abilities that are causing magic to flow from you. It is your divine spark.
I know
your nature.
I understand that. It's not exactly my question. Like, how can I grow my power if I can't, do what everybody else can? Cast spells or do other stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe you're the target practice for the rest of us.
Oh,
Don't-
so I can shoot you?
I don't like the
I
sound of
think
this.
that we
Mandee
should
pulled out a
probably
dagger.
explore that as
Hey,
a possibility.
put the dagger back, Mandee.
I know, listen.
and Hagen lifts her hand, and she says, "No,
No.
listen. You are the god of vitality. The core of life is vitality. You are living
The sound of
more than any other person is living. You are strong. You are vital. You're powerful. You may not be able to throw fireballs or teleport great distances, but that does not
As
in
she
any
says
way
teleport great
make
distances, I
you
pat Mandee on the
less
head.
magical than the rest of these folk.
Well,
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said over the sound of Tanizan patting Mandy's head. What?
Hooray!
She said that just because I can't cast spells doesn't make me any less magical, but I think you're misunderstanding my question. How am I supposed to grow my power if I can't use my power?
Rub it.
The same way everybody else can.
Shall I show you?
Please.
Please do. I'd like to see this. Professor finds a seat.
She rubs it.
Yeah, I'm just
Come-
gonna like inch closer.
Professor
And
finds a
she-
seat and gets out his notebook and just gets ready to like start taking notes.
She says, "Come, young man, sit here." And she very slowly and not without cricking and creaking stands up.
Yanks.
And
I'll-
she pats the pillows and blankets that she was sitting on, and she says, "I will return in just a moment.
Okay.
Sit here."
I
she
go
walked
over and
away.
sit down.
She walks away, and she pulls a staff from the wall. The
Oh god, I
staff
don't like the sound of this.
is adorned with runic carvings, and near the top of the head of the staff is a carved wolf's head. There is a pelt running down the staff, and the middle of it, the portion that you would hold, is wrapped in leather. The rest of it is covered in runes, and as she approaches you, some of those runes begin to shimmer. She steps up to you, using the staff as support for her walking. And she says, "Now close your eyes. Picture yourself like a stone, full and whole, alive and great and powerful. Picture it." She slowly walks around you as she tells you this. Close your eyes and picture it.
I'm sitting there, legs crossed, hands on my knees, eyes closed, picturing myself more like a boulder, hard and immovable.
She hits you in the face with the staff.
Ah, motherfucker!
And it really doesn't hurt.
You're not
But-
listening to me.
It didn't
Part-
hurt. It doesn't matter.
partly
It's in the
because-
past.
Partly because she's old. But
It caught me by surprise.
yes. So you're like, what the fuck?
The hell?
When you open your eyes, the staff has changed. She says, I knew this would work. And the staff is no longer shaped like a wolf's head near the top. It's now shaped like a bull's head. She
Hit
says,
me now.
What
hit me.
happened?
She says, close your eyes again.
I squint at her for a moment, and then I
Go
close
ahead.
my eyes.
Do it.
Good man. The rest of you see her pull her arm back. When she does, the eyes of the bull light up. Those of you Anybody, in fact, any of you guys can make me a divinity check. Gidsu, I would like you to make me your divinity check, which
my
would be
Constitution and proficiency?
as well as your proficiency, yep,
Okay.
plus a d20. Anybody else can make me a divinity check as
I don't know what
well.
modifier mine is.
Yours, I believe, is also Constitution. No, yours is Strength, I think.
19.
Strength?
All right, so mine would be 22.
18.
26.
Okay. Okay.
13.
Okay.
Yeah, a weak 13 for me too.
Okay. Everybody above 15. You see that this woman becomes wreathed in a silhouette of red. For just a moment, almost a split second, you
Wait, no,
see
sorry. Plus 21. I forgot to
Oh
add
my
the
God.
+2 to my con.
you see her bulk up for just a second, just barely fast enough for you to you're just able to notice it. And she hits him again in the fucking face. Okay,
Can I
now
roll the
you have
dodge?
no, you cannot.
Damn.
Whoa.
This is why she told you to close your eyes.
Bitch.
Now, you have rolled. What did you get, Ginsu?
A
You said
21.
21.
Yes.
Okay, 21. Give me just one second. I have to see what 21 gets you real quick,
Okay.
because it gets you some.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So, when you make that roll, you know it's coming this time. You know what's going to happen. And in that moment, you feel your skin harden, physically harden.
Oh, shit.
And then you all see it. And you notice that his skin hardens like the bark of a tree. It becomes almost scaled. And when she hits, his skin repels the attack. It almost bounces off. Now it hurts a bit because you just got hit in the fucking face with a staff.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
And the deal is that she essentially just cast bull strength on herself, right? She used your guys' magic to use her staff.
Mm-hmm.
She cast bull strength on herself. You're still going to take a point of damage, but you're also going to pop back about 15 feet.
Can I roll athletics to see if I can land on my feet and not?
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
14.
It's clumsy, but you land on your feet.
Okay. So
You're a little wobbly.
So
but
she
you
literally
land.
hit me hard enough that she drove me back 15 feet, and I was able to stand up at the same time.
Yeah, she drives you into the air to some degree. You don't expect it. You're a bit wobbly when you land, and when you land, you're let's see. That's Everett. Hold on. You're here.
No, my baby.
Fucking owl just shoots out the side of the building. Pile of feathers. Fucking pile of feathers in the shape of Everett just remaining. And then she sits back down where you were sitting before. She breathes pretty heavily.
I think technically I would have been like here if she was hitting me because I was sitting here.
You were sitting there. So you would be because of the direction she was hitting you. You'd be here.
Okay. So I flew over Jillian.
Yes. Yeah. She knocked you up. flew over Julian. You landed on your feet. You almost fell on your ass, but you managed to keep your footing just enough. You don't look delicate or graceful or anything.
Hey,
but
I
just
managed to
stay
keep my
standing.
footing. That after getting hit in the face, that's impressive.
Now, you do have two little indentions on your cheek in the shape of like bull horns, but those will go away soon.
I hope so.
And as you look down, you see that your skin, ever so softly, is glowing. You see the rigidity of that shape, of that like bark shape, and it slowly recedes back into your flesh.
So literally, combat will train me.
And she says, "You are all
Sorry, what now?
What was
broke
that?
up.
You broke
Say
up.
again, please.
You're still
Uh-oh.
breaking up, my
Uh-oh.
friend.
Yeah, I'm breaking up.
Hold on.
I think
There it is.
what she's trying to say is that Tanizan should be our target practice.
Mandee pulls out
Can
a
you
dagger.
hear me now?
Yeah.
I'm kind of reaching for my bow.
Okay. She says you are all capable of many things. There is a weave of divine power that not only are you exuding, but that connects you all. You can learn to tap into this to, if only for a brief moment, augment your current power.
I want to do it. Hit me next. What happens if you hit me?
So,
She says to train you, I would do something different, because you are not the god of vitality.
Well,
She shuffles up on her like little knees and just like excitedly.
excuse me, but based on what you're telling us, I have to ask a request. I think we could all do with some of this training. Would it be expedient, or would it be convenient for you if we were to stay just long enough to receive some of this knowledge and training from you?
I can teach you what to do. I can teach you what you'll need to know to train in the future. The things that will help you tap into your power. The things that will help you to tap into your divine heritage. But once I teach those things to you, you will have to refine them. You will have to figure the rest out on your own. Because I am no god. And I know magic, and I know the weave, and I know divine power. But I am no god. And only the gods can teach the gods of divine power. So,
and if you did this for us, needless to say, we would be in your debt.
Mandee jumps up and like reaches up for Tanizan and says, "Here, watch, do this," and then she like teleports to the other side of him real quick.
Dandil's gonna attempt that, but he's gonna like blink super fast while he's doing it.
it does not work for anybody else.
The professor focuses really hard and tries to blink, but it just comes out as like a fart.
Zillowin,
Mandee, I don't think it
Zillowin-
works the same as for everybody else.
Zillowin crosses the room and gets right in front of the old woman. And you can see his fists are bald, and he has like this sort of pained look on his face. And he's just gonna stare at her and go, "What is the purpose of all of this? Why us? Why
I can't
now?"
I can't answer that question.
Can't or won't?
I can't answer that question. I don't know the answer to those queries. If
What a waste of
anybody,
time.
if anybody among you would know, and she turns and she looks at Shvantz, she says it would be you.
What?
Insight check. What the fuck?
I believe your friend knows more than he has let on.
No, no, no. Maybe.
About why the gods have been reborn. Don't know the exact answers to this, but I do promise you all this. In return for doing one thing for me, I shall help you understand what you are and to train in some way, but you must do one thing for me. That is all. If you accept, you can begin your training tomorrow.
And what is this? What is this task you require?
There is a grove of trees. Within this grove of trees is one tree in particular. This tree used to be a treant, alive, knowing, and talking. He was the eldest treant amongst them. His name was Steelbeard. He was a great, powerful treant, an Ironwood treant.
Oof.
I merely wish for you to go to spend time in his grove near him. That is all.
Oh, you want us to power him up?
If it is possible, I would like you to help him. If it is not possible, then you have done what I asked, and that is enough.
I'm down for it.
I'd like to roll history to see what the professor might already know about. Did you say?
Said treant.
Steelbeard.
Thank you.
Yo, it's a trap.
Okay.
I'm so confused on
A
this word.
I will history
16.
too.
So you can roll history or nature. Either one is fine.
What roll?
Roll the 16.
Okay.
An 8.
Mandee would not know.
Got
Okay.
22.
With a 16, you know that treants are living, moving, intelligent trees. They are trees that are capable of motion, of creation of other trees. They had dormant natural nature magic. With a 22, Julian, you know that Steelbeard specifically was considered the king of trance.
You're kind of breaking up
I
again.
broke up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Krabs.
Okay. You know that
wow.
Steelbeard was considered the king of trance,
Oh damn.
but not just of trance, and not just their king, but the most powerful among them.
Damn.
He was made entirely of ironwood, and on top of being a treant, he was completely made of ironwood, like I said, so nearly impervious to damage, and on top of which, Steelbeard was the father of all ironwood trees. All ironwood eventually dates back to him.
Wow.
Me
Oh,
damn.
shite.
Wow.
I want to go hang out with that guy. Let's do it.
Yeah. I'm
I'd
down
like
for
to have a smoke with that guy, if you know what I mean.
that. Can you smoke Ironwood?
I didn't say I'd smoke him. I said smoke with him.
So are we supposed to talk to him, or what are we supposed to do?
Also, Julian, you know that in an attempt to save the Ironwood Forest, which he considered his children, during the hour-long God's War, he cut off his legs to feed and nurture and power the rest of the trees in the Ironwood so that they would survive the great crashing of a gigantic meteor, the same meteor that you guys saw in Turtle Bay, essentially.
What?
The one that ruined the world.
Is
Dandil.
Julian telling us this?
Wow.
So he knows this. Whether or not he tells you this is another story.
Dandil, I believe we were tasked to go and spend time with Mr. Beard, and
Alright,
perhaps to
okay.
see if he needs any help, and whether or not we're able to help him, then we return here.
Sure. All right. Sure. Do we go right now, or?
Hagen?
She says after your training.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Oh, I thought the training was to come after the task.
And she will train you first. You were doing
Oh,
the
well, thank you.
task second.
Did they get all the cement and
And
stuff done today? Or?
She turns and she looks
Yeah, they
at
came
you,
in on
Zillowin,
midnight
and
last
she
night, started
says,
pouring cement.
"What can I do for you?"
I didn't notice.
Riku, we got you on.
Yeah,
And a lot of background
yeah,
voices.
most of it in, and he said they'd be just pouring cement all day. What he told me.
Shaker, is that you?
What? No.
That's Riku. Somebody's talking to Riku, I think. I just muted him for a sec,
Oh, sorry,
Oh,
guys.
okay.
but only from I don't know for anybody else, just for me.
He's just gonna look at her, and that expression still on his face. He's just, what if we don't want to be this anymore? Can you help us not be? Can you untrain us?
I cannot take the spark from you. There are those who can, I'm sure. Do not know who they are.
Cough, cough.
That's a bad day.
The professor
gonna-
very awkwardly coughed.
I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go back to the wall and just kind of go back to the shadows.
There he is, being edgelord again.
So I suppose it is kind of late. Do we go to to sleep somewhere or something? Do the training in the morning?
Yes. I will train you in the morning. I will teach you what you need to know. When
Okay.
you are done, you will be armed to further teach yourselves in the future.
All right. Yeah. Let's do it.
Back with us, Riku.
Yeah, sorry, I'm
You
leaving
okay,
work.
buddy? Oh,
I'm in the
sorry.
car now.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna take a nap. We're gonna take a long rest, as it were.
Okay.
So you said that what was her name?
Are we actually taking a long rest?
Well,
Lady
eventually, when we
Tenowith
sleep.
was rather attractive, right?
Oh yeah, she hot.
We
I
already
posted a
had one.
picture of her.
Yeah.
she hot.
So as we all kind of clear out, I'm gonna walk up to Lady Tenowith and I was like, "So would you like to spend some time together? Maybe recharge a little bit?"
Oh boy. Why don't you roll me a persuasion check?
I knew that was coming. All right. I got a 17.
She says, young man, I don't think you have what it takes. You may be vital, but I don't think you're ready.
Well, maybe one day I will be.
And she stops.
Every time.
She says, maybe you will. But today is not that day. And she saunters away. You are all escorted from this this tree area, this little hut, to an open platform area. Kind of this one right here in the middle, here. And when you get there, you see that it is kind of a communal sleeping area. And there are lots of... It's weird, because this is elves, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is weird.
There's not like... They don't sleep, right?
They don't.
And
No.
and these particular elves, they don't really get visitors.
So it's weird that this is here.
So when you get there, there seems to be like hastily built hammocks set out for you guys. And there's enough and slightly more for you all. Which is especially weird because you have elves amongst your group.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, an elf.
you have two.
Who's the other elf?
Julian and Tinueth?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot. I forgot that she's considered a part of the party at the moment.
How could you forget the second most attractive one among us?
Because she's not
your
a player.
guys' fault.
Because she's not a player.
How could you say?
I hope you're saying I'm the other attractive one. I'm just saying.
How could you forget the third most attractive one among us?
Oh Lord! And so you all
you mispronounced
eventually...
first.
Oh boy. You all eventually... No. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you this. She is very attractive. She is very sensual. She is very all the good things about ladies. But
the professor looks over to her and like
Say
mouth
less,
like
my guy.
the professor looks over to her and like mouths.
But objectively, Zillowin probably is bringing up the lead. Like on raw hotness, he's gonna bring up the lead. It just is what it is. I don't want it to be the case. Just fucking is what's happening.
His charisma is out of the fucking roof.
Like, she's probably better with words and shit than he is, but also like, you know, got that Frankie Avalon, but like in the 2000s going on.
So much success among my students really has done a number on my ability to assess my own attractiveness. I have to rethink everything now.
They did it for the grade.
It's easy when you're in charge.
Shut up.
I'm just gonna find a spot over here and just kind of sit down and stare at the water, and just try to figure out how deep it is.
So there is water on this map, and there is a little bit of like a creek running through here, but you know that it feeds into a larger river up this stream, and you can feel the pull through this stream into that river and out again into the ocean.
But I now know that pull is going to what was it, Jarden's Point?
Yeah, eventually, yes.
Jarden, yeah.
Jarden, yeah.
Yeah.
The Spear of Jarden. So the night goes. You're all able to get some sleep. Does anybody have anything that they want to do during the night?
I'm just gonna crawl into my hammock and after taking off all of my equipment that I don't need to sleep in. And
Yeah, Daniel's just gonna be sleeping. Yeah. Well.
I want to see if I can get with the lady.
Mandy's gonna see if he can find a photo of it too.
Everybody, yeah.
You want
Mandy's
to
gonna
see
what?
if you can get with the DM?
Are you all
No, man.
gonna try to fuck or?
No, Mandy
Where's
wants
the
to hang out with
persuasion?
Tenuous. Mandy wants to bunk up with Tenuous and let's just hang out for tonight.
Oh,
You know
okay,
what?
yeah.
You know what? If everybody is going out of their bed bunks, Dandil is just gonna follow after them.
So, Mandee, you can roll with advantage to like just chill with her.
Could somebody roll that for me, please? I'm still in the car.
I will roll for you with advantage. That is a 19 plus whatever. Let me see. Let's gotta bring up your forbidden. How dare you give that to me?
Everybody.
Yeah.
I can't look at your stats apparently, but which is weird.
Damn, rock my body. Rock my body, right?
Why will this not allow me to look at your stats?
Oh shit,
That's
I'm
weird.
broke. That's right.
Either way,
what are you trying to
Probably
roll?
because you're not the dungeon master.
as long as you have a +1, that's fine.
What is she trying to
So
roll?
she's just trying to kick it. Is
So
basically she's trying to
persuasion?
convince. Yeah, but I
Alright,
just
it's a
can't look
+2
at her
on her.
stats.
It's a +2 on her.
Oh yeah,
persuasion.
yeah, and she's good to go. So everybody that comes up after, they're just like lady chilling, I guess. They're just hanging out and gabbing about like little girl and lady stuff, I guess.
Oh.
Oh, ooh, spicy tongue right here. Goddamn. Okay. Ladies tongue. Wow.
It's like any time that Tenuith starts bringing it into like, grown up chat, that Mandy's just like, yeah, and then I got some candy and then I kill the guy. And she's like, okay, hell yeah, let's braid each other's hairs. That's
Somebody
when I
used
killed
me as a
12
bowling ball.
zombies.
Somebody used me as a bowling ball. I ran up this dude's leg and I stabbed him in the neck.
It's funny because that wasn't even the first time I killed someone. Or the 10th. I was a pirate. It
He's
was
got all sorts of
great.
pirate stories, yeah.
It's like horror stories versus pirate stories, like fucking all day. And eventually, when she comes down from a major sugar high, Mandee just crashes out.
She just sprawled out wherever she happened to have been.
Just in Tenuith's lap.
The professor definitely wants to get a full night's sleep, but any spare time he has that does not have to go to that, he's going to request to study the tree that they're in without taking samples. He assures them he won't. He if they'll allow it, he'll take his book and put the leaves in between the pages of his book, not snapping the leaf off, but like pressing the book together, the pages together, and then doing that thing where you rub your graphite, and so that the page gets an impression of the leaf, and he's just taking data, and his little dragonfly is recording data on all of everything that he can possibly get without taking from them.
So a couple of things. One, I don't think you're physically strong enough to snap a leaf off.
Well, he's not going to try. He actually he realizes he's a guest, and he's not actually a selfish person. He's trying to be respectful.
Well, he would realize that as he's taking a rubbing, but he would realize that this tree, all the trees that this city is built in, this little town, these are ironwood trees.
That's
You
what
are
that's what I assumed. Yeah.
you are hundreds of feet in the air in these trees, and this is as sturdy as any foundation connected to the ground. The trees don't wobble and wave with the wind. It is very sturdy.
And whoever's there with them, he I think I would like to request. May I request a leaf and a bark sample if that's not too much to ask?
So there is nobody really with you guys, but if you do look around, because you're kind of in an open area, kind of on purpose so that they can watch you if they need to, you notice throughout the night, at no point do you not see Cebu in the limbs of one of the adjacent trees, just staring, like waiting for you guys to
Staring
fuck up.
daggers.
I know this guy doesn't exactly have it out for us, but I continue doing my studies. I don't wish to be seen as a taker from the grove. Certainly not without permission. But I don't feel like asking him particularly. So I'll just record my research and be done with it.
Okay. And so eventually the night passes. You guys are
I fight sleep.
okay.
If
You
can
can make
I will stay
me
awake all
An
night.
initiative roll.
Yeah, you can make me a Constitution saving throw.
Or would that be will? Who's to say?
There's no will.
Constitution. It's Constitution.
Oh, it'd be Wisdom, but yeah, it would be Constitution in this.
15.
It's good enough. You're pretty burnt by the time the morning hits, but you managed to stay up all night.
I did. Just for the sake of it, try turning it off and back on, but I wonder if something got.
So,
Do I take a point of exhaustion?
yeah, you can take a point of exhaustion. That's fine. It's not enough to affect you yet, but
Then I wouldn't take it then.
Well, I think it takes a couple of points for it to really start fucking with you.
Nope. First one is
one
Oh, wow.
not enough.
Yeah, one point is disadvantage on all ability checks.
Oh, okay. No, then you're
And
good.
saves.
Then you're good. You managed to stay up. You're a little burnt out, like I said, but it's not enough to really hinder you because you made the check. That being said, and mostly it's because I think you were one of the ones that slept on the way, if I recall. So you guys wake up the next morning, and there begins a regiment of training that at 9:11, I guess, for our further along friends, is going to be a little late to start this portion. So we should probably start it here, call it a little bit of an early game sesh.
Mm-hmm.
And next time when we start, it will be the training of the gods, and hopefully moving on to Steelbeard's Grove. I know this one was a big information dump and chat sesh.
Sometimes those are needed.
I took the most notes out of every game we played so far on this episode.
Good. I'm glad because it's this. It was kind of an important one. There's a lot to glean here. Some lines.
I'm glad
to be
Zillowin decided to not hit her with an Eldritch Blast because he almost did it a few times.
Jesus. That's
mean,
how
fair
people
enough.
die.
I mean, when she hit you with the thing, he was getting ready to just unload on her.
He literally asked for it, but I get it.
We're stopping there.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
So we're gonna stop there just because the next part might be a little long. So I hope you guys, it wasn't the most eventful session, but I hope you guys had fun. It will lead into more fun as we go on through the game. And I have plenty ready for you in the future.
I had a great time.
Cool.
Nice.